Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to make a necklace from the Bargain Bead Box December 2020 edition. It was called Silent Night, and if you're not familiar with Bargain Bead Box, it is a monthly beading subscription. This one retails at $72, and you get it shipped to your door for $17.98 a month. It's a really great deal. As you can see, all of the wonderful things that you get. We got 21 items this month. They included gemstones, rondelles, chandelier focal, toggles, crystal beads, charms, Rolo chain, just tons and tons of stuff. Pressed glass star beads, that's what we're going to be using today. Hematite snowflake beads, head pins, English cut sesame jasper, just great deal. So you get all this delivered, like I said, to your door once a month for $17.90. I don't know if it's $17.98 or $17. I think it's $17.95 actually. I'm sorry. And along with that, you get a coupon to use in their sister store, Bead Box Bargains. So it's already a closeout store, and so their prices are good already, and then you get a coupon to take 30% more off, and you can use that over and over all month long. So it really is a great deal. You can also enter your finished jewelry pieces on their Facebook page in a contest to win a $50 gift certificate to use in their store. So I have a coupon code. It is Wendy2. It's all one word. You can only use this one time, so if you want to subscribe to the box, you can use this coupon code and it will get you $2 off of your first box. If you don't want to subscribe to the box and you just want to shop in their store, which you can also do, it will get you $2 off of your first purchase in their store. Okay, but you can't use it for both, so you have to kind of decide which one you'd rather do. So anyway, I will put a link in the description box below if you guys are interested in that, and we are going to get right into this. So what you're going to need for today's project, we are going to be using these beautiful blue goldstone beads that came in the box this month, and I hope you guys can see the sparkle that is in those. They are absolutely beautiful. I love goldstone anyway, but these are really pretty blue goldstone. So we're going to be using some of those, and we're going to be using these pressed glass star beads that were in the box. Now I have a focal piece here. It is a moon. Now I know this didn't come in the box, but you did get a moon-shaped focal. You got these smaller ones for earrings, or you got the bigger one that I've already used on another necklace. If you wanted to use this as this, you could. You could cut these off with your flush cutters. You just cut them off and take a fingernail file and file it so it's not sharp. And you could use this. You could dangle something from here and hook it on like right here if you wanted to do that. Or you could use the bigger piece and do the same thing. Just cut some of the chandeliers off. But I had this moon filigree piece in my regular stash, and so that's what I'm going to use today. So you're going to need that. You're going to need these beads. You're going to need several clamshell covers and several crimp beads, and I don't know how many yet because I have this idea in my head. I haven't fleshed this out yet because if I do, then I won't have the components I need to use for the tutorial, so I'm just kind of winging it as I go today. So you'll need crimp beads, you'll need clamshell covers, you're going to need some Coriana chain. Now I've cut a length of 21 inches for my main necklace piece, but I've got that one, and then I've got this here that we're going to be making some dangles with this. So you're going to need a 21, well, you measure your neck. I mean, for me, it's 21 inches for this one, because I want it to lay along the collarbone. This is going to have some dangles coming down, and you don't want it to be long. And this piece I'll use to cut the dangles, but I'm not sure yet how long I need those to be, so that's why that's not cut yet. And then you're going to need some just plain old spacer beads, silver spacer beads, and some jump rings in different sizes. I'm using a lobster for my clasp, and I've got a piece of the Rolo chain that they included in the box, and I'm just going to put an extender on this. Let me go ahead and just cut it. I'm just going to put an extender on it so it can be adjusted. And I think that's everything that you're going to need, so let's go ahead and just get started with it. So the focal piece, this moon is going to be the focal, and that's obviously going to be the center of what I'm doing. So let me move these out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take a jump ring, and I don't want it to be a very big one. So I'm going to use this one, and also, obviously you're going to need your jewelry making tools. And I'm just going to go ahead and attach the jump ring to the chain so I can kind of keep track of where my middle point is, because that's going to be important for this bracelet. So I'm just going to hook this on right here. Just attach it onto my chain. I'm going to have to get my glasses. I can see that right now. I always forget them until I start doing this. And then I'm like, I can't see. So, okay. So there that is, just like that. Let me grab my glasses. Yes, that makes a world of difference. Okay, so here is our moon. Now, what I want to do, and you're probably going to need a couple of head pins too. I didn't say that, but as I'm looking at this, I'm realizing, yeah, we're going to need some head pins. We're going to make a dangle to go on here. So grab a head pin and grab one of your little stars. Okay, we're just going to put the star on, and these head pins are all bent. They came that way. Okay, so we're just going to put the star on. If I can get the head pin to straighten out enough to do it. Let's try it again. If I can't get this one to work, I'll just grab another one. There we go. Okay, and we're going to take our star here. We're going to bend this at a 90-degree angle. Actually, I'm not liking that bottom at all on there. Let me take this back off and get a ball head pin. Now, I don't like using these ball head pins a whole lot because they're so thin, but I am going to use it for this star, and we may have to use it for the rest of the stars, because I don't want them to have that flat, weird looking piece on there. And I'm also going to put it on to where the little ball is in the middle of the 2 points at the bottom, and the point at the top faces up. Okay, so it just looks so much better. Alright, so this, we're going to bend at a 90-degree angle. We're going to make a wrap loop. We're going to take our chain nose pliers, and you want to get in here at the edge of your loop, or at the edge of your bend, as close as you can. Come over like this. Here's what you'll have. A little hook, just like that. Rotate your pliers up, and then go on around just like this. And it's going to make a loop, just like that. And then I take my chain nose pliers and I grab this loop, and then I just take my hand and I twist just a couple of times around it with this head pin. Just enough to secure it so that it's not going to come loose. And then I'm just going to trim this off. Okay? Now if you have a little end, excuse me, my allergies are driving me crazy today. If you have a little end there that needs tucked in, just tuck it in. And there we have our little star. And we're going to hang it on with I'm using a tiny jump ring for this. Actually, that's an oval jump ring. I just want a little round one. All my jump rings are mixed together because I dropped the whole container of them a long time ago. And I've never gone in and separated them back out. It's just too much work. Okay, and we're just going to hang a little star right on here. Oh my goodness. And I am so shaky this morning. I think that I stay dehydrated. I try to drink a lot I don't really drink soda, like pop. I don't like it. But I drink a lot of tea and water, but I don't drink enough, and I stay dehydrated, and I was not feeling real good this morning at all. My allergies are acting up. I think I'm dehydrated. Like, I need some intervention here. So I've got a big old glass of water over here, my big huge glass of water with lemon in it, and I'm trying to drink this. Okay. Alright. Now, we need our gold. We're going to use some of our goldstone beads to separate things on the top here. So this is Coriana chain. If you're not familiar with it, it is for sale on my website in like 4 different colors. It is awesome. You can bead right on it like this, and I think it's beautiful. So I like to bead right on it because I think that it's, you know, and then let some of the chain show. I just think it's really pretty. And I don't like that. Those are too close together and they look weird. So what we're going to do is put a few little spacer beads in here. And these are going to float through the jump ring. So I may actually put a smaller jump ring on so they don't float through the jump ring. But for now, we'll look and see how it works. So I'm just going to put like probably 4 spacer beads or maybe 6 here, just so those two goldstone beads don't look like they're butted right up against each other. I don't like the way that looks sometimes, and on this necklace I really don't like the way that it was looking. So let's add in some silver spacers. Silver spacers are wonderful for stuff like this. There we go, just like that. Now, actually I may put on 2 more. And when I put these blue beads on again, they won't be just right up against each other. Okay. And one more. Here we go. Yeah, they are floating through the jump ring, which may be okay. We'll see. Alright, now let's put on our 2 goldstone beads. Everybody always asks me what beads will fit on this Coriana chain. It is 0.6 millimeters, so anything with a hole, 0.6 millimeters or bigger, will fit on this chain. Most everything does. I've not had a whole lot of trouble. There's a few things that don't. Fire polish beads are kind of hard sometimes to get on there. Okay, so here's what we've got so far. Now, I can tell right now I'm going to need more spacer beads. Let's go ahead and I'm going to do maybe 1 spacer in a goldstone bead or 2. Let me look here. I'm just kind of doing this as I go, like I said. I'm going to do 1 spacer and a goldstone bead. And now we're going to make a little dangle, okay? So here's what we have so far. Now, I'm going to do another spacer bead on here. That one's, there we go. 1 more spacer bead on each side. Okay, now we're going to grab our other Coriana chain here, and we're going to make a couple of dangles. So I want these to hang down from this chain with the chain showing, so it looks like almost like little falling stars. So the first one that I make here, I want to make very small. I don't want it to be very long. So I'm going to line my chain up here side by side, like this. Make sure that it's even, and I'm just going to cut 2 very small pieces of this chain. Just like that. Now I know they look really small, and that's how I want them to be. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our crimp beads. We're going to crimp the very, 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 very end of this, okay? I hope I made that clear. We do not want to go up very far. I don't want chain hanging. I don't want chain hanging out the bottom of mine. Now, if you do, then you do it how you want to do it. But let me get this crimp bead on here, because my chain split a little bit. It's not wanting to go on. Try at this end. Okay, so stick your crimp bead on. I am going up to the very tip. Just like this. Make sure your chain's in there. I mean, you don't want it coming out the, you know, you want the crimp bead to be on there, but, and then I'm just going to flatten it really tightly. Pull it, it's secure. I'm going to take one of my little stars and put it on. I want to do the point up. I'm going to make sure that I have the point up in all of these, okay? And we're going to have a little dangle here. So the way that I'm going to attach this chain to this chain is I'm going to take my clamshell and I'm going to put this through the bottom. Then I drop everything out, of course. Let's do it again. Put my clamshell on here just like this. I am going to grab my crimp bead, and again, I want my crimp bead right at the edge up here on the top. It's a little fiddly because this is such a small piece of chain. It'll get easier as we use longer chain. Okay, so there's my crimp bead on there. I'm going to grab it, try to hold this. I knew that was going to happen, guys. This first one is going to be difficult because the chain piece is so tiny, but it's important that it be tiny. I don't want it to be a big, huge piece of chain, but good Lord, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it on there. Please. Okay. You just grab it. I'm just going to stick my finger on the bottom so it can't come out and see if I can get the crimp bead on there. And come on. Don't be so difficult. My chain has a little split in the top right there. I may have to trim that off. But I really want the crimp bead right at the top anyway. There we go. Okay, I'm grasping the top right here. I'm going to grab this crimp bead and I'm going to scoot it back up right here, and I'm just going to crimp it closed where I can grab it. And then I will cut that piece of chain off because, man, this one right here is hard. Okay, so crimp that down really, really good. Make sure it's very tight. Trim your little bit of excess chain off. And then go ahead and close your clamshell cover. And there's a little dangle. That was difficult to make. Okay, we're going to do another one. Yay. This one, hopefully, will go smoother. Alright, just stick your crimp right on. Crimp it right up at the top right there. Tightly. Put your star on with the point up. The star's not wanting to go on there. That's weird, huh? Try a different one. If you find something that won't go on, just grab another one. A lot of times the holes in these are not really the same size. Okay, now there's a little bit hanging out here at the bottom. I'm just going to cut it off. I don't want any hanging out at the bottom. And then I'm going to put my clamshell on. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the other one. Just put my finger here and hold it so it stays on there. And then I'll put my crimp bead on up here. I'm sorry if my hand is in the way and you can't see, but this is really not that easy. Okay, there's my crimp bead. Let me grab it with my pliers and pull it back up here and crimp it down. And I hope that that is even with the other one. I may scoot it up a little before it totally crimps tightly. I think it is going to be fairly even with the other one. They don't have to be exactly perfectly even. I mean, I want them to be pretty close, but I do want them to look like little falling stars, so it's okay if they're not like, you know, exact. Close that up. Oh Lord, that was hard. Okay, now I am going to take this and I am going to put this directly onto my chain and see how that looks. And I may end up, yeah, I'm definitely not going to do that. Okay, we're going to take a very small jump ring. I didn't think that was going to work, but I wanted to try it. It's going to be too tight. So we're going to take a very small jump ring. Like, if you have any smaller, I mean, the smallest jump ring you can possibly get is the best thing for this. And I don't know if I have any smaller than that. I don't think I do. Beth sent these to me. These little tiny, I think they're 5mm or 4mm. They're very small. I was just trying to see if I had anything smaller in here. I don't think that I do. I think the smallest I have, yeah, they're all 4mm. Okay, so we're going to take our little jump ring here. We are going to put him on our clamshell, just like this. dropping everything today. I swear it's going to be one of those days. I have to go back to work today, and I hope I can get it together before I have to go back to work and I'm not dropping everything all day long. And I'm just going to close this right up. You could close it up and then put it on your chain, which would probably be easier, but... And there we have the little star dangle. Okay, let me do another one. This is probably going to be a fairly long video because I want to show all of the steps that I'm doing in this one. A lot of times I fast forward, like I'll pause it while I make a bunch of dangles or whatever, but this one I think it's kind of going to be important to show how I do each one of these so you can see like how I judge the length and all that kind of stuff. So you can fast forward through if you need to. There we go. And that's what we've got so far. Perfect. Okay, now do I want to take the blue bead off and move these in closer? And no, I don't think I do, because if I do that, they're going to hit up against. I think it's going to be good this way. Okay, so let's lay this out. Now, we're going to do another spacer on each side and another goldstone bead. So spacer bead, goldstone bead. These goldstone beads are just absolutely stunningly beautiful. They're so pretty. Okay, and another spacer. And another goldstone bead. Okay, just like that. Now, I'm going to do another spacer and another goldstone bead. Okay. Spacer and goldstone bead. Okay, there we go. Here's what we've got so far. Now we're going to make another dangle. Now this one's going to be a little longer. Should be easier to deal with. And let me look here. Okay, so I want this one to land about right here. Okay, so I'm going to cut my chain there. I'm going to put this one next to it, even them out, and cut this one. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on this one. This one will be easier. We're just going to put our little crimp on the bottom. Crimp it down really tightly right here, the very bottom of our chain. And then put our star bead on with the point up. I'm trying to make sure I have the point up on all of them. And then I'm going to take my lobster, or my clamshell, always call these lobsters, and another crimp bead, and I'm going to crimp this closed right up here. Okay, crimp it down really tight, and then close your lobster up, or your clamshell up. Okay, and then I'm just going to take the small jump ring. Well, I may put a spacer on. Let me go ahead and do my other one. So we'll go ahead and put this one in here. Crimp it tight. Put our star on. That star's messed up. Let's not use him. He's got some issues. Let's put this one on. Okay. Clamshell cover. And our other crimp bead. All right. There we go. Crimp it down really tight and close your clamshell. Just like that. And then we'll attach these, but I am going to put a spacer on each side first. So here's our spacer bead. And then we'll go ahead and do our little jump ring and our dangle. This is a fun little necklace, I think. I hope it turns out as pretty as what I have in my mind. That's always the hope, I guess, for any jewelry designer, but I do want it to be pretty. Okay. And then we're going to do spacer bead over here and this one as well. All right, here we go. There we go. Hang this one right on this side. And there's what we have so far. Very pretty. It's going to look pretty on, I think. Okay, I'm going to do another spacer. Another goldstone bead. And another spacer. Okay, same thing on this side. Spacer bead, goldstone bead, spacer bead. Okay, now I'm going to make another dangle. This one I don't want to be as long as that one, but I want it to be a little bit longer than the first one we did. So I'm going to go right about here, cut that, line them up, cut this one. Okay. And same thing, attach my little crimp. Down at the end, mash it tight, really tight. Put on my star bead with the point up. Like that. Clamshell cover. And crimp bead. Beautiful. All right, close it up. Add our little jump ring to this one. Slide it right on our chain. Oh yeah, I like it. Are you laying weird? There we go. Same thing on the other side. And you could actually, if you wanted to, you could use crimp bead covers on here, but I don't really find that necessary. for this, but you could. Okay, put this guy on, point up. And then a clamshell and a crimp bead. Okay. I just always make sure those are crimped down really tight. You could actually put a little glue in there too if you wanted to, but I haven't been doing that lately, but you could. I used to do it all the time, and then I got lazy. But you could. And then we'll just put this one on. Okay. Slide him on there. Alright, how's it looking? It's looking cute. I think it's going to be really pretty on the way that it will lay when you have it. Okay, so we're going to do a spacer bead, a goldstone bead, and another spacer bead. Same thing on this side, spacer, goldstone, and another spacer. Well, come on now. There we go. Okay. So here's what we've got. Now we're going to do one more dangle, a little shorter one up here, and then we're going to be done with our dangles. So I want it to hang, and the reason I put this up here and make sure is because your necklace is kind of going up, so you want to make sure that you kind of lay it out there and see exactly where you want it to hang at, because otherwise it may not lay like you want it to. So that's about, and this is going to be a small one again, which is a pain to do, but they turn out really cute. Move that up. Okay, so let's lay my chain side by side, and I'm just going to cut this one. Alright, crimp bead on the bottom. Oh, that chain is really flopping. Okay, crimp bead on the bottom here. And just crimp that right down tight. Press it really, mash it down really tight there. Okay, then our star bead. Then our clamshell cover, and I did learn a minute ago to take my finger and just kind of hold it underneath there so the chain can't, everything can't fall off the chain. And that works pretty well till you can get your other crimp bead on here. Alright, then I grab it with my pliers like this. Keep my finger under there and move it up and mash it down quickly. So it doesn't have a chance. Nothing has a chance to fall out. Okay, there we go. Let's mash that down real good. And then we'll just close our clamshell over there. Perfect. Okay, add on our little jump ring. And your clamshell, if it doesn't line up right, just, you know, you can play around with it till it will. Okay. And put this one right on here. Awesome. Now let's do the other one real quick. When I'm done with this too, I will go back over it like with a fine-tooth comb and check all of the jumper rings, make sure they're closed. I always do that, and then if I would sell this piece, I would definitely go back over it too and just make sure everything's closed up really good, all the connections are, you know, secure. Always do that. And get this little star bead on. Clamshell cover. And our last little crimp bead. Okay. I'm just going to grab him with my pliers and pull him back up here and crimp him down very tightly. Alright. And then we'll close this lobster, or clamshell. It's just ocean creatures, I guess, you know, lobsters, clams, I just can, they're all the same. I'm getting them all confused. Alright, and then we'll open up the jump ring. Open it up a little wider. Alright, and we'll put this one on our chain and we'll see what it looks like, the whole thing. Alright. And here's what we have. Oh, I think it's really cute. I am going to have to do something with this moon. I guess I might try to put it on with a smaller jump ring so it'll stay in the middle where it's supposed to be. I guess I could hook it on with one of these little 4mm ones maybe. Find the opening here. Yeah, there we go. I don't really want it to slide around. It needs to stay exactly where it's supposed to go. So let's try to put it on with a 4mm jump ring, and that I know will not slide. I could even dangle the moon from a little bit of this chain. That might look kind of cool too. No, that would be really difficult to make the loop and everything, so let's do this. Put the 4mm jump ring on here, see if it's going to work. I think it will. Oh, it's awfully tiny. Goodness. Let me see if I have a size that's not quite as tiny as that, but maybe the oval jump ring would work. Let me look here real quick, guys. I'm sorry. I don't want that piece floating. It does make a difference. I do have some oval jump rings, so I may use one of them. Oval jump rings are really nice for a situation like this. There's a good one, and I don't think that that will float. Let's go ahead and try this. So hooking it on that. Yeah, I think that'll work. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this oval jump ring up. These are a little tricky. Let me get it on here right. There we go. I'm going to close the oval jump ring. And then I think I might add the 4mm jump ring too. I might want to make this moon hang down just a little bit longer. So let's see what this looks like. If we just put a bit of make a little bit of a chain link thing going on here. Now this I will have to put actually another jump ring on because that won't hang right on there. So let's try one more. And this will make the moon hang down just a little bit more, which I'm thinking it may need to do look better if we do that. So I'm just going to try it. I try different things. If it doesn't work out, you can take it apart and do something different. Yeah, I think that'll be good. So let's put him on here the right way. Okay, and this chain is very thin, but I need to open that a little bit more. Okay, here we go. All right, see how that looks. I think that looks a little better. It makes it hang better. Okay, and it's going to stay in between those little pieces, those little spacer beads. Okay, so now we're going to finish it off. So I'm going to do a spacer and a goldstone and a spacer, just for some finality here. So we got a spacer, goldstone bead, and a spacer bead. Same thing on this side, spacer, goldstone bead, and a spacer bead. Okay, and then I'm just going to finish off the ends of this, and the way I do that, it's very simple. I take a clamshell cover. Let me check something. I may want to crimp this. Yeah, actually, I'm going to line these up to where they need to go, like this, and I am going to crimp. I'm going to go ahead and crimp the ends right here where the ends of the beads are, because I don't want this sliding around on here. It needs to stay exactly where that it's supposed to stay, and it'll be a big hassle for somebody if it slides. So I'm going to crimp it. I'm just going to put that crimp bead right there. And I'm going to crimp it closed really tightly. Same thing on the other side. And then I may put a crimp bead cover over those. Yeah. Same thing over here. I'm just going to pull it down, crimp it tightly. Now I'm not crimping it so tight that there's absolutely no movement, because I don't want it to be poker, you know, I don't want it to be stiff, but I just don't want the whole thing to slide around a whole lot. Okay, so I'm put those crimp beads on, and I don't even think they need crimp bead covers. They're very unobtrusive. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave them. Okay, now we're gonna finish off the end. So you take your lobster or your clamshell and put it through here. You take your crimp bead, same thing as we've been doing. Actually, I'm going to show you guys a different kind of clasp, if I have them. Okay, this is a metallic clasp. I just got these. I'm going to be uploading them on the website. They're not up there yet. But I'm going to show you how that you can use this clasp on here. And I really like these. They are very strong, and they make a really good ending on these Coriana chains. So just take this off. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slip this right through the end of the clasp, and then I'm going to crimp it. I've got fuzz. I need to cut up. I got a Velux blanket for Christmas, and I'm going to cut it up and make bead mats. I need to do that. I haven't done it yet. I haven't had time to do anything. You want this to come up to the very end, and you just want to crimp it down tightly. Okay. You know what? That did not work like I wanted it to do. How is it? Oh, I did it wrong. Okay, sorry. I just got these, and let me show you. I just got these, and I did not do that right. Yeah. You put your crimp bead on first. That's right. Then your clasp is going to go on. Nope, that's not going to work either. Alright, we're going back to the other clasp. I'm going to have to figure these out. I can't remember how to use them. I thought I could, but I can't. But these make really good clasps on the Coriana chain if I can remember how to use them. I had a tutorial before. I'll have to watch it and go back and do it. So we're just going back to the regular clamshell. Sorry guys, I thought I would throw that in, but and I will do, when I figure that back out, I will do a tutorial showing it. It's not hard. I just don't want to sit here and figure it out, because that would be frustrating to you. Alright, so just same as we've been doing everything else. Clamp this down. But it is a very easy clasp to use once you know what you're doing. I just have to refresh my memory. I just got them the other day, and I haven't even put them up on the website yet, but they are great endings for the Coriana chain, and they're very strong little magnetic clasps. So I will figure that out, and then I'll do another video on that. Alright, so we've got our clamshell on both ends. We're going to close them up. And then we're just going to take a jump ring and hook our lobster on one side. Just like this. Hook him on, and then on this side I'm going to take a bigger ring because I like my lobster to have kind of a large ring to clasp onto. I'm going to put that on there, and I'm going to put my extender on. And I'm going to close that up real good. And then I'm just going to make a little dangle for the extender. Let's see, let's do a goldstone bead on there and a star, just like this. And we'll put a little spacer on top, just like that. Okay, fold this over, trim it up, and make a loop. I like to do this on most of my necklaces. It's just cute. It just gives it a little added embellishment. And I'm just going to stick it on the bottom here. Oops. Right on the bottom of my chain. Close this up. And there we have it. Here's our necklace. And I am going to put it on a form so you can see how it lays. I'll be right back. Alright, so here it is on a form, and I like it. I think it lays really pretty. Excuse the messy background there. But yeah, I really like the way this one turned out. I'm going to do a pair of earrings as well using the Coriana chain. They'll match this, so stay tuned for that. If you have not subscribed to the channel, and you want to subscribe and hit that little bell, then it'll notify you every time I upload a new video, so you'll be able to see, you know, the earrings and whatever else we do. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm going to get off here and drink some water and see if I can make myself feel better. And you guys have a great rest of the day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.